is the Magnate. Hello, you welcome to this week's edition of the Magnate. Mentoring on television and lending a voice to the growth of our businesses. How is your business going? Today we shall be focusing on something that not too many people are aware of or have knowledge of. Ever heard of procurement? Procurement agency? Some years back, maybe over a decade now, people brought up this slogan of due process when it comes to processing finances in all government parastatals, federal, state, and even local government. That is our focus of conversation on this edition of the Magnate. And we have somebody who should know. We are in Lagos State, in fact, Lagos State Secretariat to be precise, in the office of the Director General, Lagos State Procurement Agency. What are we talking about? You want to know him? The best way to know him is to bring you his citation. Afterwards, we'll begin and commence a very, very stimulating conversation. We'll be back shortly.
Mr. Fatai-Idowu Onafowote is the Director General of the Lagos State Public Procurement Agency and one of Nigeria's foremost public procurement governance experts. With over 3 decades of distinguished service in public administration and procurement reform, he provides strategic leadership for the state's procurement regulatory framework, overseeing procurement governance, compliance, policy development, institutional reforms, and the modernization of public procurement across ministries, departments, and agencies in Lagos State. He was appointed Acting General Manager of the agency in 2016, confirmed as Substantive General Manager in 2018, and became the Pioneer Director General following the enactment of the Lagos State Public Procurement Agency Law 2021. Mr. Onafowote played a pivotal role in the development and implementation of the Lagos State Public Procurement Law and has continued to champion transparency, accountability, value for the money, and digital transformation in public procurement. A fellow of the Association of Public Procurement Practitioners of Nigeria, APPON, and the Institute of Information Management Africa, he has attended several international programs on procurement and contract management in Canada, the Netherlands, the United Arab Emirates, and Ireland. His outstanding contributions to procurement governance have earned him numerous national and international recognitions, including the Procurement Leader of the Year Award 2025, the Public Procurement Leadership Award 2025, the Most Innovative Procurement Director General of the Year Award 2025, and the NIPS Integrity Ambassador Award 2026. Mr. Fatai-Idowu Onafowote's hobbies include swimming, singing, and reading. He is happily married with children.
You're welcome back. You can see that our personality, our Magnate for the week is loaded. You made a good choice, right? And it's a great pleasure to welcome to the Magnate Mr. Fatai-Idowu Onafowote, the Director General of Lagos State Procurement Agency. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Nice to be with you.
Such a great pleasure.
Thank you for obliging this conversation. You have quite an intimidating citation, I must say. Great.
Greatest.
We are speaking the same language that you may not be aware of, except those who are in our circle.
Yeah.
Okay, so now let's go to the conversation. When you talk of procurement or procurement agency, what does it mean? Particularly for those who may not be aware of such.
Thank you so much. Procurement is about acquisition.
Okay.
Either it's in the private sector or in the public sector or in the homes. We acquire goods, we acquire works, we acquire services using the resource that is available at our disposal. And we want to be able to ensure that those resources, we maximize what we are able to acquire.
Okay.
Using the available resource to get maximum benefit.
Okay.
Is the reason why procurement is critical.
Okay, available resource. That means you need to, procurement must be under budgeting, right?
It aligns strictly with budgeting.
That means you cannot procure what Beyond what you have.
You can only procure within what you have.
Interesting. But that means this should not be peculiar to agencies alone, government, Lagos State, government, corporates, and individuals should also align with this kind of principle, right?
And that's why I use even at home.
Okay.
We do procurement in a manner that ensures that we will stay within our budget, eliminate wastages, and ensure that we get value for the resource that is available at our disposal.
Need and want.
Need and want is so related. Your wants are so many. But your needs is determined by the resource that you have.
And this should go across board.
It goes across board.
Okay, let's look at why anybody should think of procurement. Because since you have related it to the home front, that means procurement can also serve as purchases, right?
Yes. So in the past, you hear more about purchasing and supply. But as time goes on, because of the need to go beyond just purchasing and supply, procurement now becomes a bigger set. Purchasing and supply becomes a subset of procurement.
Interesting. Okay, if it is given that is part of budgeting, why do we need to establish a particular agency, procurement agency, for anybody, either in the public, private, or individual?
Now, still within the need to ensure that resources are properly managed in an efficient manner, is the reason why procurement came into play. Because as much as possible, having worked with multilateral agencies, multinational agencies that have been supporting us, even as countries and as states, they continue to teach us that resources are always limited. And as much as possible, they want the available resource to get to as many people as possible.
Beyond what you have explained, what are those things that will require that? Why is it extremely very necessary for you to now go through the processes of procurement in public service? You work for a public organization in Lagos State, for instance.
Thank you so much. You need to understand that public sector depends largely on taxpayers' money.
Okay.
And you want to continue to ensure that taxpayers get value for the tax they are paying.
Okay.
And government needs to be accountable to the citizens. So if you want to encourage them to continue to pay, then what you procure should also impact their lives.
Okay.
What are their needs? What actually will add value to the citizen?
Okay.
To the extent that they can talk about good governance, to the extent that they can boast and say this government is serving the purpose for which we elected such government.
Interesting.
This is the reason why procurement must be done properly.
Okay. Are there some laws governing it? Because I'm foreseeing a situation where some will also be default in not obeying the processes of procurement.
There are.
We will come to it shortly.
Thank you so much. There are laws guiding procurement, and that is what makes it interesting. And that is why even the agency called Public Procurement Agency was set up as a regulator to ensure that there's compliance with the law.
Okay.
So as far as Lagos is concerned, we started way back 2011 with the law. Now, taking after federal government that started far back 2007. So we started in 2011 and we put the law in place. We set up an agency. So that agency is also ensuring that every content of the law is clear and understood by our players within the system and ensuring that compliance is deepened.
Okay, so you have talked about being, coming from your background of a public servant and all that. Is it only applicable, this procurement what we are talking about, is it only applicable to the public servant, or the corporate organization can also apply it in their organization?
It affects the private sector, corporate organization.
Okay, sometimes ago, just like you alluded to earlier, 2007 or so, this slogan became very popular, the due process. In fact, a minister was tagged Mrs. or Mr. Due Process. How is this procurement relevant to the due process we are talking about?
The beginning was the creation of an office within the presidency that was called Due Process Office. That Due Process Office, as at that time, the law was yet to be in place. So it was upon establishing the law that we are now talking about procurement law. But initially, you hear about price intelligence inside the office of the president. So the person who was managing that office at that time,
who conceived it, right?
The person who also conceived it and brought the knowledge of the World Bank into presidency was the one called Madam Due Process.
Okay, what do you think, or why do you think she must have thought of that? Because it never existed before then. We probably were just doing things, different from one desk to the other. What do we need to know about due process in relation to what we are talking about?
Thank you so much. Thank God we've been, just like I said, we've been working with multinational and multilateral agencies.
Yes.
They conducted a review called the Country Performance Review in the year 2000. And were able to establish what needed to be corrected in a manner in which resources are being managed in the country.
No leakages.
And eliminate wastages, reduce leakages as much as possible to the extent that resource actually achieve the impact that is expected of it. So as a result of that report, that was why the first office called Due Process Office started in the presidency. And thereafter, then the law came up in 2007.
Which now cascaded to all the states.
So that now cascaded to all the states.
Interesting.
And so state, because of that report, state needed to adopt. Because it's about good practice.
Of course.
So if it's about good practice, it's something that we can emulate.
Interesting. We're still conversing with the Director General of Lagos State Procurement Agency. And he is Mr. He said I shouldn't call him Doctor. Mr. Fatai-Idowu Onafowote. Getting quite stimulating and interesting, right?
Always a pleasure, man.
Let's go for a short break. We'll be back to continue. And when we come back, we're going to be looking at the various principles of procurement processes and all of that. Join us shortly. It's mentoring on television, lending a voice to the growth of business. You've taken one or two tips from our conversation so far. I still have with us here on the Magnate, Mr. Fatai-Idowu Onafowote, the Director General of Lagos Procurement Agency. You're welcome back to the Magnate, sir.
Welcome.
I've enjoyed myself.
Honestly, I am also enjoying.
Okay, so depending question, sir. The principles of procurement. Are there any principles we need to know so that even on an individual level, we can practice it? Even the mentees are watching, because we call this program mentoring on television. You are mentoring a lot of people now, entrepreneurs, those who have just assumed office in offices like this, or aspiring to. What are the principles of procurement?
Thank you so much. The number one principle is promote transparency. Secondly, encourage competition. Ensure that fairness, that what is good for A is also good for B. Be fair. Promote competition. Ensure value for money. Ensure that you use what you have to maximally utilize maximally
to get what you need.
But also best of quality in terms of what you are expecting.
Okay, let me pick you up from the competition you talked about. That means the transparency you're talking about is that leave the bidding open for all.
So promote open competitive bidding.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
there shouldn't be any form of sentiments. Leave it open. Let different people bid. Face a panel to say, okay, you have been chosen as the best of it all, but with cost effectiveness. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So it means that when you promote competition, people come out in their best. They bring out their best, and you get the best even within the available resource with you. So among the so many who can carry out an activity, competition is a default method in procurement because that is the only way you are very sure of getting
The
best in terms of the value, in terms of the quality, and in terms of getting it in the best of time that it will serve the purpose.
Okay. Now, from your own experience over the years, has this really worked? There should be, there's, you know, we are Nigerians. There's such a core element, you know, you get a note from somebody. Has there not been compromises somehow?
So, there will always be things like that. But to ensure that
Particularly since we are in the political
era, you will that will always exist.
Has that compromised your own even job?
Now, when it comes, we find a way around it.
Okay.
Consider it as a risk that needs to be mitigated.
Managed.
So you set standard. When you set standard,
Mustn't go below.
so you will not go below your standard.
Okay.
So whoever that is even coming must be ready to fit into the standard that you have set. So that is one way of ensuring that all interest is
Taken care of.
accommodated.
Okay, before I ask my next question, I need to clear this. You know, anything that has to do with government agents, this is media, and we don't have a holdback because it is a watchdog for the society. You understand? People say that anything that has to do with bidding and all of that, sometimes, I don't know if your procurement thing also takes care of this, inflation. People ordinarily will inflate something that will cost less because there are some interests to be taken care of.
Now, the truth of the matter is that every business person is in business to make profit.
Yes.
So you will not do business and run at a loss. So we encourage you to think through because there's so many factors involved when you are doing the business. The period that you are paid because there's time value of money.
Sure.
So that comes into play if you are doing business within the public service.
Okay.
It may not be exactly the same as it is in the private sector. Okay. For example, in the private sector, you hear about 21 days.
Yes.
Send in the invoice, get your payment. You recognize that even in costing. In putting your cost forward, you are mindful of when the payment will be made.
Okay.
So if you are getting the fund from a particular source, which sometimes can be borrowing, you are mindful of what goes into those borrowing. That is the cost of money. So you must always recognize cost of money as you are doing the business. Okay. And how long it takes to get your fund paid also guides you if you find yourself in the public service.
Okay, I need to also pick you up there because sometimes there is this impression or assumption people hear that doing business with government, if you have BP, don't go near there because of their payment time span. You just talked about loan. If you borrow money to go and do business, except you're extremely lucky or you know the people at the top, you have to be going and coming and going. Does procurement take care of something like this?
Procurement law has recognized that.
Okay.
And has given a time within which your invoice should be attended to.
Okay, good.
So in the past, it could just be endless. But these days, with procurement law, within 60 days,
good.
Your process, your invoice must be attended to. Otherwise, there's a charge that goes back to government.
Penalty.
So there's a penalty. So that understanding is clear between the government and those who are doing business with them.
Is it really like that? Do they really do it?
No, that's we want to as much as possible do it. But there are instances where it's even beyond your power.
This one is get me the business. So how can I instigate anything, write petition, do legal thing and all of that?
Yes, as service provider.
So we are very resilient people.
We are resilient people. We are patient. We understand that business is about relationship. And we want to maintain a very good rapport and relationship with our customer.
Taken for granted.
So, no, we as much as possible, we need to understand the game that is played wherever you find yourself under the circumstance. If you find yourself working with government, you need to understand the intricacies and how best to get the policies around how to get your payment made. And it's like that everywhere. Okay. So if it's public service you find yourself, you need to understand the game and play the game the way it should be played.
The conversation is developing even to things that we didn't even think about, but it's good. Now, you've been a civil servant, public servant. You have risen to the Director General. Let's look at the processes across board. State, federal. I'm happy in our conversation earlier we said it started from the federal and now cascaded to the state level, yes, and even to the local government level.
Yes.
From your own experience, how has this procurement principles worked to the extent that the citizens, like you said earlier, are better off?
Thank you so much. Let me begin with the state. But I just do a little bit because I play within the state.
Oh yes, now.
So
they are the one paying your bills.
Yeah. So within the state, we have simplified the process for ourselves,
okay,
to the extent that it's easy to understand, because that's very critical. So in the past, there is a perception that procurement will waste time, procurement will delay. And the reason for this is that procurement is just evolving. Procurement is unlike other professions that had existed for much longer period. And so people are getting to understand the due process. So, but we started by simplifying the process. That the first thing
when
that
you say we is the state,
as
right?
in the state,
Okay.
within the state, Lagos as a case study.
I know they carry last now.
We started by simplifying the process to the extent that our players, our stakeholders understand that planning is critical, gathering the needs together is critical, developing that into budget is critical, and how do you develop a roadmap towards implementing your budget to the extent that if your performance is measured, you are seen to be performing maximally. You'll be able to gain traction even with your procurement plan. As soon as it is cleared by the agency, you can begin to run with it.
Okay.
That simplification process has helped us and has gone a long way to ensure that Lagos State performance in terms of our budget performance on year on year is top notch.
You are singing your praises, so interesting. So let me ask this question, because the way this conversation is going, we may not be able to curtail everything in one episode because it is developing even to things that we didn't think about. You understand? Now, how do you identify the procurement needs of an organization?
Now, I'll use Lagos also as an example. There's one of the things
Case study
we do within the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget is what we call consultative forum.
Okay.
So where we go to every division and pull people together so as to adopt a bottom to top approach. We bring them together like a town hall meeting and use that opportunity to sieve what their needs are. Even though we are aware that we may not be able to meet them 100% within a particular year. But we first of all take needs and pull them together and also identify agencies where those needs to be applied. So that from Ministry of Economic Planning, there's a communication to the relevant ministries who will pick those needs and now begin to do necessary data gathering to be able to put prices to those needs that have been identified at the various consultative fora.
You know, this conversation is, leading to so many other arms. That means procurement agency work with several ministries.
You can't work alone.
Budget.
We must work with budget.
Planning.
We must work with finance. We must work with treasury. We must work even with our internal resources. That is tax office.
Okay.
That's internal revenue. Because there has to
Ministry
be
of
handshake.
economic planning
Even with economic planning, even with our internal audit and treasury office. Because procurement is an end-to-end activity. So even though the agency sits somewhere, but we must shake hands with other ministries, other agencies of government.
That shaking hands, does it also imply that the bottom line, there's some form of profit sharing?
No.
I don't want you to answer. Profit sharing in different ways that, you know what I mean?
So doing business of government too, we want to ensure that it pays the citizens. Because, you know, we sign social contract.
Now,
So what government signed with the people is a social contract.
whatever happens back door is not our business.
So it must pay the citizens more.
We know. Well, the program is the Magnate, and we'll be talking about the procurement. All you need to know about procurement as it concerns the individual, local government, state, and federal. And of course, the Director General of Lagos State Procurement Agency has been lending a voice to this very, very interesting topic. It's not that we have just scratched the surface. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
There's still a lot more to
So
talk about.
much more.
Let's hold for now. Next week, we'll be here to conclude this conversation. The Magnate is the program. To remember that you can always watch this program again on our YouTube channel and follow us on all our social media handles. Of course, this program is still up for sponsorship and partnership. Call the number on the screen. Let's talk. I'm sure you have enjoyed what we are talking about. If you want more of this, talk to us. See you next week. Bye for now.